Floyd L. Mills here, Prince of Real Estate. Forgot to tell you about the another two books that I had. Check this out. Bam! The Richest Man in Babylon. This book was the tightest. Check this out. Man, look, only thing I can say to you is that this book right here is a must read. You got to get this book. This is an awesome book to get. Now, The Richest Man in Babylon. Check this out. The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. This book was phenomenal. When I say that, man, this guy, he talks about, okay, he's a salesman. He used to be a car salesman. Now he's a multi-millionaire on his way to being a billionaire. If you ever get a chance, look this guy up, Grant Cardone on YouTube. This guy is the most phenomenal salesman out there. He talks about everything that you do, you got to do it 10 times greater than the next person. And you can never, ever compete. You dominate your territory. You dominate whatever you do, and you take control of whatever you do. Because whatever controls you, you out of the market. You got to take control and dominate and expand. While everybody else is contracting, you expand. You continue to rise forward, rise to the top, and expand. Go out, right, left, east, west. You got to do what you got to do. The 10X rule. Everything he had. This man has a jet. It's not just his first jet, but he done had plenty of jets. And those jets, he talks about, and on the wing of the jet, it says 10X. You got a 10X. Apply 10X to your life, man. Apply it to your life. 10X. Whatever you do, you 10X it. Do 10 times greater than what it is. Parable of a Pipeline. Oh my gosh. This is the bomb. Check this out. This is a really, really short read. You can read this book in like an hour and a half. You got to get it. Parables of a Pipeline. This book is now out of print. You can't get this book anywhere. You got to order this book. So it's by Burke Hughes. That's Burkehedges. Parables of a Pipeline. It's back in the 12th century, I believe. And it talks about two guys. They get ready to build a city. They building a city. So they asked these two guys if they can get a pail of water. And they had to take water from one city to another city and fill a slough or fill a sluice or however you pronounce it. But they had to dump the water. And then you know how it goes. They got a pail of water on this side and a pail of water on this side and a stick in the middle like this. And they walk into the city with this water and they dump it in. And they go back to the next city and they go get the water and come back and they proceed it over and over again. But what they was getting was they was getting a penny a bucket. Is what that was pretty good money back in the 10th, 11th, 12th century. So it was pretty good money. So what they was doing was they was doing this over and over again repeatedly. And one of the guys decided, wait a minute. I ain't gonna keep doing this. There got to be an easier way to make money than to keep struggling and carrying these buckets on my back. So he decided to create a pipeline. The other guy, which was his partner, didn't want to do it. He wanted to keep doing what he was doing because it was comfortable for him. He knew that he could make 2 cents a bucket every time he did it, or he could make $1 a day with 100 trips. But by the time he got done, this book says he was so worn out, beat down, he couldn't do anything but to go back to his little cabin and go to sleep. But anyway, I'm going to be done talking about that book. But it's called Parables of a Pipeline. You got to get this book. It's a must read. Now, I might want to say something else. Oh, don't forget The Richest Man in Babylon. That was an awesome book here. I could tell you about this book, but if I tell you about this one, and if you look at it, when you think about it, you think about that, okay, it's talk about Solomon. It doesn't talk about Solomon. Oh man, you got to read it. I can't tell you nothing else about it. Now, check this out. I got one more book to talk to you about. I got plenty of books to talk about. Now, this is basically my collection, and I'm gonna tell you the truth. These books over here, I basically almost read. Oh, no. Wait a minute. What is that? What is that? Oh, man. Oh, my gosh. Check this out. The 1 Minute Millionaire. Oh, my gosh. You got to read this book. This book is the bomb. I'm trying to tell you. The 1 Minute Millionaire. This is like 2 books in one. I'm trying to say, because check this out. When you open it up, the story is on this side, but it tells you how she done it on this side. So by the time you get done reading, which is all in purple, as you can see, all in purple, by the time you get done reading the story about what this woman done, and then it goes back on this side and it tells you how she done it. It gives you the tabs up here and everything, and it tells you how she done this thing. It is basically, oh man, this book is now. If I'm gonna give you a little piece of what's going on. Okay. It's this woman. I ain't gonna give you the names. I ain't gonna give you none of them because I don't want to spoil it. But it was about this woman, right? This woman was married to this one guy. He was married. She was married to the guy. And what happened was that this guy died. He died in a car accident. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. But anyway, he died in a car accident. And when he died in the car accident, she was left with herself and her 2 little kids. And the 2 little kids and her. So basically, they did have a small business, and that's what it was. It was a small business. Small business. The husband, mom and dad was actually multi-millionaires, but he didn't go to the mom and the dad to get money from them. And the reason why he didn't do that is because he didn't believe, because he seen how their mom and dad reacted. Like they was all snobby, stuck up. They didn't want to do anything. They didn't give anything. They was just nasty. So the son wasn't like that. But then he died. But then what happened was, the mom had to go get a job and try to restructure her life and everything like that. So she was trying to get a job. But the grandparents of the father that died was trying to take the 2 children. They didn't try. They did take the 2. No, I better not say anything else. They did take the 2 children. Now they did come back and they took it. But the way they did it was so manipulative. It was just crazy. But anyway, she lost the kids. And then she went back to work and she started working on her own. And she was so mad and so upset with rich people. She was like, I don't want nothing to do with these rich people. I'm getting so excited. I don't want nothing to do with these rich people. I don't want anything to do with it. I hate rich people. But anyway, she worked in this restaurant. And in this restaurant, these rich people would come in once a week. And she said, I don't want nothing to do with these rich people. But what happened was the owner of the restaurant said to her, you need to go out there and cater to the rich people. And you need to go out there and do what it is it takes in order for... And she, no, you gonna go do it. So anyway, she went out there and she started doing it. But these was a different type of rich people. These was rich people who gave back to the community, who taught how to give, who taught how to receive, and taught how to get other people and get them to make money. So then she sat at the conference and she listened to what they were saying. And she said, wow. I want something like that, because she was thinking about her. I'm done. I ain't gonna say nothing else. The 1 Minute Millionaire. This book is the bomb. Floyd L. Mill, Prince of Real Estate. I got more books I wanted to show you, but I ain't gonna worry about it. But I will say there is some books back here. Robert Kiyosaki. This was another good book. Oh man, this is The Business of the 21st Century. This book, basically, a lot of Robert Kiyosaki books is basically, I can almost say almost the same almost, because especially this one, which everybody knows, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you know, and that was awesome too, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And then he got another book here too, this one right here, which is a sequence or the follow-up of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And this is the Cash Flow Quadrant. And that was good too, you know, but a lot of his books basically, you know, they're different, but they talk about the same. But on the same token, he's a phenomenal teacher. He's awesome. He's awesome. He's awesome. Dave Ramsey, I read nothing bad to say about Dave Ramsey. Not Dave Ramsey, Robert Kiyosaki. I'm sorry, Robert Kiyosaki. I have nothing bad to say about Robert Kiyosaki. Dave Ramsey is the bomb. If anything, if you ever out there and you're a reader, pick up Dave Ramsey. Pick up the books that I just mentioned. The 1 Minute Millionaire, The Richest Man in Babylon, The 10X Rule, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Business of the 21st Century, The Cash Flow Quadrant, and there's many, many, many other. Don't forget Extreme Ownership, Napoleon Hill. Grab those books and remember, apply this stuff in your life. Continue to move forward, be driven, continue to have drive in your life. Don't just read the same way with the Bible. Don't just read the Bible and say okay and go to church on Sundays and don't perform nothing in your life. You got to be driven. You got to allow these books and everything in your life to drive you through your purpose. Remember, we all have gifts. Every last one of us have a gift. It's up to us to find that gift, and once you find that gift, let that gift drive you. Remember, love starts with the other person. Deny yourself and give that other person, respect over your life. Deny yourself and pick up his cross. That's what it's all about. If you can't love the other person, but first of all, you got to love yourself first. Floyd L. Mills out. I'm getting too excited. Gotta go. Love you all. Peace out, baby.